Scott, I guess I'll just get right to it. You guys become bowl eligible 2 weeks ago. Next week, you lose a tough game to Tulsa. Lots of strong fan reaction, particularly about Justin Holman not playing. Were you surprised by some of this strong reaction that you've received?
I don't hear any strong reaction. The last thing that I'm going to do as a leader of this program is make decisions based on outside opinions. We've been fighting with this band of guys. I'm loyal to this band of guys. I believe in them. I'm grateful for the effort that they've given us. And, I think the mark of a great leader is staying the course through the good times and the bad.
Coach, this week's a little different for you guys with the holiday falling midweek for you guys. How do you approach that? How do you get them ready Wednesday, Thursday, going into Friday?
Guys don't have school Thursday, Friday. We're going to try to get our work done early on Thanksgiving Day and let them go home and be with their families. We'll get a little later start on Friday, and we'll just encourage the guys not to eat themselves into a coma.
Coach, what do you think of this thing, and what do you think of the rivalry?
Well, I think this is a natural rivalry. I think it's good for both programs, good for both universities. We're looking forward to playing the game. There's a lot on the line this week for both teams, and I think there's a little extra motivation when you're playing somebody that's just down the road from you.
Were you involved in trophy games when you were in Nebraska? I know you had the Civil War, is that what they call it, at Oregon with Oregon State? Was that something that, players always got excited to play when the trophy's on the line?
We're going to approach it the same way we always do. Every game is important. Every game deserves our full attention. I've been involved in a trophy game at Oregon, and I don't think we actually had a trophy for the Civil War. They had a platypus trophy that disappeared somewhere along the line. I'm a lot less worried about who gets to pick up the trophy and all that ceremony than I am how the game goes. We're building something special here, and I feel good about where we're going, and we're going to go battle our butts off to try to win this game on Saturday.
Can you speak a little bit to the character of Justin Holman? He hasn't played a lot this year, but you mentioned it the other night. The players did too, about how he's always the guy lifting people's spirits up and getting guys motivated and focused. And just kind of talk about that role that he's been playing this year.
Justin's been awesome. Justin's an example, like so many other seniors, of how guys have responded to our coaching and the character that they've shown throughout this season. These guys have been through a lot of hard things together, seen the good and the bad of what a program can be and the good and bad of college football. Justin's handled it like a pro. Would have loved to have Justin in our program and running our scheme and system for 2 or 3 years. I think that would have made a really big difference in how he played in our system. I can't say enough good things about him, and he's been a great leader for us.
What have you seen as some of the challenges the offense has faced in the last 4 weeks?
Well, we played our poorest game on offense as a unit on Saturday. I think we ran 83 plays. You can pick out 55 of those plays where somebody did something wrong. That's on us as coaches. That's on us as a unit. Inevitably, the two guys that get the praise and the blame are coaches and quarterbacks. That's the way football works. Smart people have told me a long time ago that praise and blame are all the same. They're both imposters. When you win, you look better than you probably actually are. When you lose, you look worse than you actually are. I read the article you wrote. I'm loyal to Mackenzie. I'm loyal to Justin. I'm loyal to every single guy that's been sweating and fighting for us. And I'm not going to turn my back on anyone. We had offensive linemen that messed up on Saturday and made mistakes, and we're not going to yank them out of the game. We had receivers that got penalties and got lined up wrong and fell down and made mistakes, and we're not going to yank them out of the game. The focus is just always on quarterback. And if I'm a leader that changes our direction when there's a little bit of pressure or things aren't going right, then the kids aren't going to believe in our direction anymore. And I believe in what we're doing, and so do the players.
Coach, now that you've had some time to reflect and look at some tape, what really stood out to you against Tulsa that maybe you could fix in preparing for USF this week?
Well, there's a lot of things to fix. I think we got off to the right start in that game. Defense made another great play. We had 3 or 4 drives where we had a chance to go up 2 scores, and the game would have looked completely different. We had a 40-some yard run called back on a dumb holding penalty that would have given us the ball in their 26 with a chance to score. We made mistakes in blocking schemes. We made mistakes in alignments. We didn't play with great technique. There's a lot of things that we need to fix. I think you can get complacent as the year goes along, but inevitably we have been improving every single week we've played. Inevitably there's going to be a back step once in a while, and we fight with everything we have against that, but that's kind of how things go. We need to fix those things and take another big step forward this week. It wasn't one guy on offense, it was all of us. I think we had the guys in the right plays in the right situations to execute them. We didn't execute very well, and some of the attention to detail at all positions needs to be a lot better.
When you're grooming a young, raw quarterback, how much room is there mid-season to work on things like mechanics? And at the end of the day, what's the most significant takeaway a guy can have from a full year of experience like that?
Well, guys, we have a lot of guys that are learning on the fly. Dredrick Snelson has gotten better all year. Is an example of a young guy. Tristan Hill's gotten better all year. Juwan Hamilton's, I think, made a big jump lately. Adrian Killens has done some great things, but he has a lot to learn. Across the board, really, on offense, as young as we are at receiver and offensive line and quarterback and running back, there's some lessons that you can try to teach, but until you experience them in games, they're hard to really learn. And we're fighting through some of those growing pains, but like I said, the last thing I'm going to do as a leader is change our direction or turn my back on some of these guys that have been fighting for us.
Coach, you'll be facing another high-powered offense this week with a dual-threat quarterback. I was just hoping if you could talk a little bit about what you defense maybe can expect out coming off of another offense, and also if you've had any run-ins or talks with Willie Taggart over the years, or what you know about him.
No, I've met Willie a couple times. That's it. I think he's done a good job. Had several years down there, and he's done a good job turning that program around. It took him a while, like it's going to take us a while to get all the way to where we want to be. But I have a lot of respect for their program. Defensively, I thought we played, for the most part, played pretty well on Saturday. Offensively, we can't put them in those positions. We knew they were going to go fast and had an explosive offense last Saturday. We can't go 3 and out on offense and keep putting our defense back on the field. I don't know how many snaps they played in the first half, but it was way too many. The one thing I want our defensive guys to improve on a little bit is, it seems like quite a few times this year they've played lights out, until offense makes a mistake and we have to go out on the field after a fumble or a fumble punt return, and we don't seem to play as well in those situations. So we're going to work on some sudden changes on defense, and we need to go out and take the field with the same intensity that we play with the rest of the time. But offensively, we have to do a better job of limiting the number of reps that those guys play against a team like USF.
Coach, both of these programs have been playing Division I football for about 20 years. Do you think it's important to be able to have a rivalry like this where both the players and the fan bases buy in?
That kind of talk is for fans. That kind of talk is for media. This is a football game that we want to win, and we're going to play our butts off to win. I think it's a natural rivalry because they're right down the road. But all the pomp and circumstance is just distraction to us.
Is this an important game because these two programs dip into the same or similar recruiting pools? I mean, with all the talent that's along this I-4 corridor?
This is an important game, just like every other game is important. I love where we are in recruiting. I think the guys we're recruiting believe in the direction we're going. They can see the improvements that we've made and the type of culture we have in our program. And one game isn't going to change any of that.
Were you able to meet Coach O'Leary this week, and if so, how did that meeting go?
Yeah, I've met Coach O'Leary several times. Have a ton of respect for him and what he accomplished here, and was happy for him to be honored the way he was.
What was the story with Jordan Franks? I saw him dressed in his regular clothes on the sideline Saturday. He hadn't played, I guess, in a couple games.
Yeah, guys get nicked up. We're not going to talk about that, but he was out there running around and doing well today.
Coach, when you're going up against high-powered offenses like Tulsa and then this week USF, I know you're more on the offensive side, but do you end up spending some time with Coach Chenander and looking over any tape or talking to him about defense?
No, you know, one of the things that I wanted to do when I hired a staff is hire guys I trust to do their job. If you're a micromanager as a head coach, I think you just get in the way, and there's too much work to be done for one guy to do it all. Coach Shenander's done an unbelievable job with that defense, him and the rest of the staff. As we're trying to get the offense rolling and install a system, I haven't had a lot of time to spend over there, and that's why I hired a guy I knew I could trust to run the defense.
What are your impressions of Flowers?
I think Flowers a great player. They do a good job in scheme with him. They spread you out, getting a lot of unusual formations, and most of the time that leaves a light box. They do a great job scheming up some runs for him with not very many people in the box. He's as good a runner as most of the running backs in our league, and if you don't have a hat for him, he'll make you pay.
How does USF stack up to some of the better teams you've played this season?
You know, we're just starting to watch them yesterday, watched them today. As soon as I'm done here, I'll go continue watching them. I know their offense is really explosive. I think they have an exceptional receiver. I think their running back's as good as there is in our league. Flowers obviously is one of the better players in our league. I'm really impressed with their young tight end, veteran O-line. They're going to be a handful for our defense. That's another reason our offense needs to execute to make sure that we can keep the ball and keep those guys off the field.
In a season where you've got a young offense, it's first year, you're coming off an 0-12 season. How do you measure success this year?
We measure success one day at a time, and for the most part this year, we've been better every day than we were the day before. I think inevitably there's going to be some step backs. We haven't seen many of them this year. Offensively, we had one Saturday. We got to right the ship again. You know, you can't measure success by wins and losses because so many things can affect those things. We're going to measure success around here by being better than we were before. We need to improve graduation rates. We need to improve the number of guys that get their degree. We need to improve our ability. We need to improve our talent. We need to improve our work ethic. If we stay on that path, then all the statistics will take care of themselves.
Killins doesn't seem to be getting an awful lot of touches, but is there any particular reason for that? I think he only had 2 in the last game.
We try to get AK the ball as much as we can.
Anything else?
Quick question for you. Overall impression of the running backs this season. Can you just talk about their growth this season?
Yeah, you know, we've kind of been running back by committee. I think they all deserve some playing time. Don Travius has been really effective for us at times. Adrian Killins has been a spark plug for us. Juwan Hamilton, I think, has really come on the last 4 weeks again and is running the ball really hard. Taj McGowan deserves some playing time. All that stuff will get better when our offense stays on the field longer, and there will be more reps to go around. But all those guys have done a good job, and we're going to have a bunch of them back for a long time around here.
I know you said you play to win the game and you don't really play for a trophy, but I'm just wondering what you think of that. What are your impressions of that trophy?
I think that's a neat trophy. You know, but again, trophies don't matter to me. Our players matter to me, and I want what's best for these guys. We're going to keep coaching them to give them the best, and we're going to coach them as well as we can to give them a chance to win this game.
Anything else? All right.